My name is Gary Wittmann, and I am a professional storyteller. I'm an award-winning recording artist. I'm also an award-winning children's author. I was a special education teacher for 33 years, and in 2007, I was Teacher of the Year for the state of Indiana. And over those years, I have dealt with so many of my students, especially in the special ed room, who had to deal with bullies just because they were handicapped and had so many problems. And over those years, I have been, I wrote notes. I always wrote notes down about how I dealt with things. And as a result, I've been able to write books like Timothy Bottom Rules, 5th Grade Dragon Master, and this one, the 5th Grade Monster School. And each one of these books deal with how to handle a bully situation. Something that every parent, especially when school is starting or even throughout the year when there are problems at your school. This is a book not only for parents, not only for children, but it is great for teachers to read in the classroom. The thing that I did as a special education teacher when I wrote the book is I wanted to make sure it was easy for children, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, to read. The print inside is very large. I did that because I want students to be able to put notes, write things, add things, but be able to read it carefully. My goal today is to read you Timothy Bottom Rules, Chapter 1. Now let me tell you about the book. Timothy Bottoms, and as you can see, he is the boy in the middle. He's short. He has a problem. He stutters. He's never grown tall. He's like way behind everybody else in the 5th grade. And they make fun of Timothy Bottoms just for that. How does he handle all of these problems going in 5th grade? Because 4th grade was not good for him at all. But yet, his older brother, Michael, is going off to war to join the army. It's just like a lot of you folks today, you are dealing with parents or brothers or sisters headed out to combat. And as a result, you're gone for a long time. How does your children not only handle that problem? And this book gives a solution to help families who have children, especially young children, this age, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, even older, to deal with it and cope with the problem of having somebody in the family off into the service. I love it. The only problem I had with the book, the last 3 chapters, I had trouble writing because I cried. And I was trying not to make it a tearjerker, but I'm sorry. Even as I tell those last chapters aloud in audiences and stuff, I get broken up. I have parents who come up to me when I do presentations at the library and say they had a real hard time getting through it. But you know what? It was the best thing they did, they said, because they were able to show their love to their children. Keyword, love to our children. And you know what? That love is what kind of breaks the bullies. Let me read to you chapter 1. Here we go. Chapter 1. Make this year different. Timothy tried to concentrate on the cups in front of him, but it was very difficult with his older brother whistling and tossing clothes on the bed. Normally, Timothy could focus all of his attentions on the stacking game. He simply zeroed in on the blue cups as he laid them out. 4 cups for the base of the pyramid, 3 cups on the second row, then 2 cups, and then the last cup. Build up the stacks. Then, quick as a jet streaking through the sky, collapse all the cups into one neat pile. Bang, done. He could do it in 3 seconds flat. But this time, as he placed each cup, the words "leaving tomorrow," an enlisted kept pounding in his ear. It was distracting. "When I get home, you'll probably hold the world record for cup stacking," Timothy's brother Michael said. He popped down on top of the bed and grinned at Timothy. Timothy scowled and swiped at the cups. Summer was ending. 5th grade started in 3 days. And Michael was leaving for a year. Timothy still couldn't believe he had gone and enlisted in the army. He stared at the floor for a second and then at Michael. Who is going to protect me when you're gone?" Timothy asked. His face glowed red. He hated when he stuttered around Michael, but he hated it even more when it happened around the kids at school. It didn't happen all the time, but the kids acted like it did, and they weren't exactly understanding about it. One day in 4th grade, Devin and his goons had followed Timothy around the playground, stuttering the whole time. It didn't matter that Timmy didn't say anything or hadn't even stuttered that day. And by the end of recess, he was in tears, and his voice failed him for the rest of the day. Michael sat down on the floor next to Timothy. "You'll be fine. You are smart, talented, a funny kid, and just because you have to struggle to talk sometimes doesn't mean you are any less of a person. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." Timmy teeth shrugged. "Yeah, but it doesn't help that I'm short too." Timothy had been born 6 weeks early, which led to some complication. The grown-up way to say it was a speech impediment and stunted growth. But the way Timothy saw it, he couldn't talk right, and he was just short. Or shrimp. Everyone else in class was shooting up, and he was barely 4 feet tall. He was the shortest kid in the 5th grade by far. Michael jumped to his feet, puffed out his chest. "Hey, you're growing. Pretty soon you'll be as tall as me. I probably won't even recognize you when I get home." Timothy chuckled and shook his head. He gathered his stacking cups, and Michael pulled him to his feet. "Do you really have to go?" Timothy asked. Timothy knew this was what Michael had always wanted to do, but he didn't understand why. The military was dangerous. Michael could get hurt or worse. Timothy shivered. He didn't know what he'd do if Michael didn't come home. Michael knelt down, wrapped his arms, his strong arms, around Timothy's small shoulders and squeezed him tight. Timothy squeezed back while trying to keep the tears that had suddenly formed in the corners of his eyes where they belonged. In his eyes, it felt so wrong to be saying goodbye to his brother. 1 year Michael said, looking Timothy right in the blue eyes. It's only for 1 year, and I will be coming home. I have to see you win the cup stacking world contest. I want to see you breaking the record. Right? Michael slugged Timothy lightly on the shoulder. Timothy wrinkled his nose. Yeah, and maybe I'll grow 2 feet tall and stop stuttering too, he said, and then grinned. It could happen, Michael said, and Timothy rolled his eyes. But seriously, T-Man, make this year different. Don't let the bullies get you down. They aren't even worth your attention. You, Michael said, poking Timothy in the chest, are too good for them. Timothy rubbed his chest. Maybe Michael was right. Maybe Michael would come home safely in 1 year. And maybe Timothy's school year could be different. But how? If you want to know, you have to buy the book. Timothy Bottom Rules, 5th grade. And it's by Gary Wittmann and Wittmann. Gary Wittmann. Again, there are 3 books in this series. You'll love each one. Each one gives you a different solution, different problems with bullies. This one is the 5th grade Dragon Masters. I've had a lot of sales from this one. This one has been picking up sales, 5th grade Monster School, and I wish, see if I can get that. Look at that beautiful picture. My artist worked for Disney when he did this, and it was just a awesome, awesome picture. But right now, this is the book that I feel you're going to get a lot of value. Now, you'll get lots of value on every 3 of them. I've had parents buy all 3 of them at once. And I have parents who have reached out and say, Gary, would you sign the books for me? And I'll say, sure. And I'll get with them. They'll write to me. And sometimes what I do is they send the money. I autograph it with their child's name on it and send it back through the mail. I charge a little bit more because of the postage that I have to deal with. I hope you had a good time listening to Timothy Bottom Rules. And I hope you are one of the lucky ones that reaches out and buys that book, and all 3 of them, matter of fact, in that series. Because I know they will make a difference in your child's life or your school. I had one parent bought he reached out and said, Gary, would you sign a bunch of books for me? And I said, sure. He said, I'm buying 30 books, 30 students in this 5th grade class where his son was at. And he said, I want them all to know about Timothy Bottom Rules. And it was because his son was short. And didn't have stuttering problems, but he dealt with kids teasing him about being short. So what a perfect gift for this parent to give everybody in the school who was in the 5th grade a book that kind of helped their son, but kind of helped other children who dealt with bullies. Again, Gary Wittmann here saying goodbye. I hope to see you again. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out www.garywittmann.com. And I'll see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.